Hillary Clinton was forced to confront hecklers during a speech in New York yesterday and then respond to an activist on the rope line afterwards. Students at SUNY Purchase interrupted Clinton's remarks by chanting, "If she wins, we lose." And then after the speech, a Greenpeace activist caught up with Clinton while she was shaking hands.
From the time we started doing polls back in the Great Depression, when asked, do you think things will be better? They've always said yes. Oh, I know, the Bernie people came to say that. We're very sorry you're leaving. I want to say I have earned 9 million votes in this election already. I have 1 million more votes than Donald Trump, and I have 2.5 million more votes than Bernie Sanders.
Yeah, and that is absolutely true. And unfortunately, if Bernie had had more time to get into those the black communities in those southern states, she would not be able to make that claim. But to see, the whole point is they're not lying, because they people have done their research and they have found that the fossil fuel companies have contributed both to her campaign and to her super PAC. So, you know, now she's sitting up here trying to spin, and she's going to get away from this particular person that's calling her out on it.
Are they lying about her?
Wow. That's a little different than Jeb sitting there talking for about 20 minutes. Somebody asked a question on whether she should take money from fossil fuels, and she pointed and said, "I'm so sick."
The Sanders campaign issued a statement shortly after a video of that last interaction on the, we just saw that hit the web, pointing to a Greenpeace analysis claiming Clinton's received contributions from 57 oil, gas, and coal industry lobbyists. The Clinton campaign responded by saying that, by that same metric, Senator Sanders has received more than $50,000 from individuals working. No, come on.
Well, actually, that was a Greenpeace activist. That wasn't somebody from Bernie Sanders' camp, from at least what the news reports say. And, you know.
So she doesn't have a lock on New York?
No. I don't know. John Hyland, what do you think? Does she have a lock on New York?
I do not believe she does, and I don't think the Clinton campaign thinks she does. I think, you know, she will come in as the front runner without a doubt, and she will have she has a strong hold on a lot of constituencies that matter a lot in New York City. But Sanders will be a very strong candidate, I think, upstate.
Yes.
He may be a pretty strong candidate on Long Island. He could be a quite strong candidate in both Brooklyn and in Queens.
Yeah.
And so, you know, again, she will be the front runner. And rightly so. She's won statewide in New York twice, but it was 10 years ago, and Sanders will give her, I think, a run for her money, and they certainly expect that to be the case, which is why Bill and Hillary Clinton have been in New York much of this week rather than here in Wisconsin.
Doing interviews at the Apollo.
What's amazing about the Clinton campaign is they take unfortunate facts as lies and character smears. You talk about them making money in speeches, that's a character smear. That's bad tone.
No, it's true.
This Greenpeace activist last night told her the truth. They are asked a question, and about she's taken money from oil, gas, and energy
companies. That's not a smear. That's not a personal attack.
That's a question based on things that have happened
so who's
on
lying?
your record. Certainly, it's not Bernie Sanders, and it's not the Greenpeace activist either.
That statement that the Sanders campaign went on to say, it's no wonder that back in December, Clinton refused to agree to stop accepting money from the fossil fuel industry. They say that she was presented with a question at the town hall, and she said, I'm not going to do a litmus test on those industries, just as an additional piece of information. But the reality here is, you know, Bernie Sanders does, I will say, the transcript thing, you know, push out your transcripts is probably the closest thing that he comes to making a suggestion that is a character-related attack, right? Otherwise, it's very clearly NAFTA-related. The question about the transcripts goes to a certain extent to this trustworthiness question.
Well, that's just like asking. That's not a personally. That's like asking somebody to release their tax. Their tax
right. So it's a transparency-related issue in that way. But I will say, if this is negative and you have a problem with this tone that Bernie Sanders is leveling it at you, and you're looking at Trump.
And that's been around for decades. They've seen much worse. These aren't personal attacks.
Not only have they seen much worse, they've done much worse.
Right. She received hundreds of thousands of dollars from the very companies that are at the center of the debate about where our economy is right now. She received money for speaking to them privately during the time, between the time that she was Secretary of State and running for president. She knew she was going to run for president. What did she say to them that is so different than what she's saying to us? And that's
the issue-related question Bernie Sanders is focused on here.
I think he has a good
wants
question.
to know if she said something different.
Well, that's certainly not personal.
During that same speech in New York yesterday, Clinton criticized Senator Sanders for the way he responded to Donald Trump's recent comments about abortion.
Last night, Senator Sanders agreed that Donald Trump's comments were shameful, but then he said they were a distraction from, and I quote, a serious discussion about the serious issues facing America. To me, this is a serious issue. And it is a very serious discussion.
Now, just in case you really haven't noticed it, anytime Clinton has a rally or gives a speech in a place that has a diverse population, it goes without saying, and you can go back and check for yourself, when they're doing face shots or frontal shots of her, there are without a doubt going to be a bunch of black people in behind her. Okay, she is pandering to the black community because she knows that they are her lifeline, and if she happens to lose them, she may still get enough votes for the nomination, but she basically she could be done. Bernie could get up there far enough that he can deny her the nomination on the first ballot.
Look, I know Senator Sanders supports a woman's right to choose, but I also know Planned Parenthood Action Fund and NARAL endorsed me because I have led on this issue. I have fought on this issue. This is a fundamental constitutional right, and we cannot think it is anything other but really serious.
Look, I have a 100% pro-choice voting record. There will be no president who will defend more strongly a woman's right to choose, who will take on Republican governors who are trying to restrict that right. You know, it's a campaign, and Secretary Clinton will say what she will say. The difficulty of dealing with Donald Trump is that every day there is another absurd statement coming out. It is just simply hard to deal with every crazy statement that Donald Trump makes. But there is nobody who will defend a woman's right to choose more than Bernie Sanders will.
Yeah, I mean, there's nobody that believes, Richard Haas, that any woman is going to be thrown in jail for having an abortion. That is a circus type statement that even right to life groups denounced yesterday. So
she was just using it to make it look like Bernie Sanders.
Yeah, she was trying to. It's sad.
But
also, it does highlight the narrowness of Senator Sanders' campaign. That I think there's actually a line of attack there for her, which is that if she's only focused on economic nationalist issues, it leaves out certain social domestic issues, it leaves out certain foreign policy issues, which play to her strength.
I think if you look at
and that's a bunch of bullshit. They keep talking about Bernie being a one-issue candidate. That's a bunch of bullshit. Bernie is talking about total social issues, okay? He's talking about education. He's talking about incarceration. He's talking about cost of living. And it this covers, all of the stratas of all the people in the country. So, you can tell people that are Clinton supporters when they try to make that point, because it is totally, it's just wrong. It's just wrong. And anybody who does any kind of research should be able to see that for themselves.